Hi, I'm Jeff Grant from Charlotte, North Carolina, and I'm so excited to be the next HGTV design star that I'm shouting it from the rooftops. Hi HGTV, welcome to my house. I want to give you a quick tour of my latest project and show you why I think I could be the next HGTV design star. So come on in. I've always been interested in design and building. Ever since I was a kid, I was always taking things apart, trying to build it together and figure out how to make things. I really got into design when I started to get into high school and college. I studied product design at Stanford. It's a really cool program. It's jointly housed by the Department of Mechanical Engineering as well as the art department. So it makes good use of both halves of my brain. I like to consider myself a whole brain thinker. So a little disclaimer, the house isn't done. We've been working on it for about 9 months now. Basically, we have a brick ranch house. It's about 30 by 60 feet wide. It was built in 1960. And we basically have two sides of the house. We have the private side with the bedrooms and the bathrooms, and we have the public side. Part of my passion for design is creating fun, family-friendly spaces and environments. One good way to do that is to create a space with a lot of flow. So the first thing we did, obviously, is come in here with sledgehammers. So we started knocking down the drywall, knocking down the walls. We basically took out every single wall that was in the public side of the house. The only thing that was left over was really the structure around this fireplace. We'll talk about that later. Over here we have the kitchen. Didn't always used to look like this. Before, it was about this big. Walls, walls, walls. Blew it completely out. One of the things I really love to do when I'm designing a space is build custom details. I could have easily built just a standard wall on the end here, but what I decided to do instead was build a custom piece of furniture that mimics what we have here with the cabinet, but also provides some other functions. Eventually, I'm going to have a wood door here that has some metal sheeting on the front, painted with a black chalkboard paint. This will do double duty as a play surface for my son, as well as a great place to display his artwork. When I'm designing spaces, I always like to think about how it's going to be used. So for example, side entrance, driveway out there, that's the main way we enter the house. So when you walk in, you've got keys, you've got phones, you've got iPods, purses, wallets. You got to put them somewhere. So what we have here is a small nook that I created. It's not done yet, but when it is, we'll have a place to charge your phones, plug in your iPod to a computer. The computer will have internet access, help facilitate going out as well, print out some directions. One problem a lot of homeowners face is trying to figure out what to do with the dog bowls. Now this is a really easy design solution. All you need to do is take these standard bowls you get from a pet store, cut out a circle that matches the diameter of the bowl. When they get dirty and need to be changed out, just pop them out, dishwasher, swap in some new ones. As you can probably tell by taking a look at my house, I have a very modern design sense. However, I do like to mix in some classical elements as well. So I decided to use Carrara marble for the fireplace surround to give it that classical element, but to give it the modern twist, I chose some very thin, elongated tiles, and instead of putting them in a horizontal fashion, I created a brick pattern, rotated it 90 degrees, and what that really helped to do was create a vertical sense to the structure. It really helps because we're dealing with a 1960s brick ranch that has 8-foot ceilings. I added an 850 square foot deck on the back side of this house. As you come through the double French doors here in the kitchen area, you'll notice that the floor in the house and the deck floor are at the same height. It makes for a very seamless transition between the indoor and outdoor spaces. And when you come out here, it feels like an extension of the living space. These panels here in the middle just slide around out to the outside. They go behind the fixed panels, and voila! Totally hidden, you don't even see it, and now we've got this great flow. One of the concerns my wife did have, though, with building such an expansive deck on the backside of a house was that we might cut off the flow between the house and this beautiful backyard. So instead of building some standard 3-foot wide or 4-foot wide steps, what I opted for instead was to build this giant 24-foot wide stairs. This allows you to go anywhere you need to go between the yard and the rest of the house very easily. Well, I've shown you a lot of shots of the house in the after stage. You're probably wondering, what did it look like when I bought this place? Here's some shots of what the house looked like when we bought it, as well as some shots of the house during the demolition and rebuild. During the design and planning stages of this renovation project, I downloaded a free 3D modeling program off the internet. First, I scanned in the property survey and sized it to scale. From here, I modeled in the existing foundation and walls, complete with window and door openings. This is where the fun really started. I was able to experiment with several versions of a new layout and basically virtually remodel the home in 3D. Here is the final version of the new layout. Notice how the public side of the house has been completely opened up. And with the addition of an 850 square foot deck and screen porch, the usable living space has dramatically increased. The final design plan pays respect to the original form of the house, but completely modernizes it with custom details. So now you're probably thinking, this is what I do for a living, right? Well, not really. During the day I work at a bank, but at nights and weekends this is what I do, designing and building. And prior to working at the bank, I was actually a professional toy inventor for 10 years. It's really cool now to see my son Spencer use some of those things that I've made. This is a book my wife gave to me this year for Christmas, and it's a photo journal of our first renovation project back in California. This house was 920 square feet, 2 bedrooms, 1 bath. And one of my favorite projects in the house was really rebuilding the kitchen. And here's what the kitchen looked like afterwards. I knocked down 2 load-bearing walls to create an open space between the kitchen and the living room. I also custom designed and built this island out of the similar type of wood that I used on the cabinets. It's just birch plywood. This is what it looks like standing in the kitchen looking at the living room. The what do you like to do for fun question is the one that stumps me, because this is what I do for fun. I design and build things, and then people say, okay, but when you're not doing that, what are you doing? It's like, well, that's what I do for fun. Well, my favorite part of design is really helping people solve their design challenges. So a lot of times people will have a problem they're trying to solve, they'll have an idea of something they want it to look like or feel like, but they can't always articulate it directly. I think that's where my design skills come into play. So I think I can really help people from initial design challenge to final execution. Thanks for stopping by. I really enjoyed sharing my latest project with you, and I look forward to hearing back from you very soon. But now I got to go back inside and watch my favorite design show on HGTV. Take care. See you later.